Before we get into this video, shout out to Urinating Tree for this video idea. I noticed he doesn't do too many NBA versions of this video, so I hope he doesn't mind if I take this over for him. And honestly, I'm not going to spend too much time on this intro, but if you're new, drop a sub. If you're not new, drop a like and comment. Let's go. The Celtics started the season hotter than the girl that burned you last night. As of lately, their only bright spot is Al Horford. The fan base's racism is driving Jaylen Brown away, and Jason Tatum, he apparently forgot what it meant to take a mid-range jumper. Hopefully they get back to their early season form for this playoff run, or else they going home pretty early. At the time of this recording, the MVP hasn't been selected, but Joel should be the winner. This team has their best squad since 2019 with Jimmy Butler, and yet they still have serious doubts surrounding their championship hopes due to their fraud of a coach. A healthy Sixers spells trouble for the Eastern Conference unless Doc Rivers has to actually do his job. They finished the season sort of how Boston began their season. They gave Knicks fans hope again, and we all know as soon as you give the Knickerbockers hope, Julius Randle decides to put on the worst Curry impression I've ever seen. Imagine if this team came into the playoffs as high as they are this year just to lose in the first round, or better yet, the second round to the baby-haired midget in Atlanta. Thank this team's mismanagement of stars for the Suns being a threat in the West again. Although they traded Kyrie and KD, they still managed to stay afloat, but one can only wonder what direction this team is looking to go. They have solid pieces there, but you can't really help but feel like they're a team destined for purgatory. Now here's a team that is destined for purgatory and that's been in purgatory the last couple years. Realistically, they technically would have been in purgatory since the DeMar Lowry era if Kawhi was never rented for a ring. They have some stars that can't really be the best players on championship teams, and whether they make the playoffs or not, this front office needs to figure out what direction they want to go. Easily the best team in the East all year. Coaching has improved. Drew Holiday has an argument as the best PG in the East. Joe Ingles has contributed more than expected, and the only thing stopping the Bucks is the Bucks at this point. This is their first time being a top 5 team without LeBron on their roster, and this year marked a true dawn of the new age Cavs. This team will be making some noise in the next couple years if a core can continue to develop and if they find a more consistent version of Karis LeVert. Disappointing is an understatement. A team full of guys that are second options, masking as first options. Their point guard that ran the show had to get cartilage transplants, while the rest of the team seemed lost for the better half of the year. At this point, they probably need to blow it up or figure out who they want to build around. Everyone but the Pacers knew they were supposed to be tanking for Wemby, and since they forgot the entire mission this season, they won 33 games and put themselves in the dreadful middle of the pack tier of teams. Miles Turner and Buddy Hield are all but gone, and they should focus on building around Halliburton. The Pistons put on a masterclass on how to tank while allowing younger guys to get meaningful minutes and mature. They traded for Wiseman to pair with an already talented backcourt with Cade Cunningham, but in Cade's absence, Killian Haynes has shown so much improvement that this team has a bright future ahead. However though, 16 wins, tanking or not, is disgusting. The Heat are the one team you can't really bet on because they don't try till March as their star guy said, and on top of that, you don't know what you're going to get night to night. I get not trying till March, but at the same time, don't tell us you don't try. Butler is the only player that can survive without trying all year, and the rest of the team needs all the reps they can get. Hopefully Jimmy has it in him to carry because they're going to need it, and he's the only reason they're going to make it far. Atlanta's premature success has hurt this team, but not past repair. They fired their head coach who seemingly didn't have the locker room together and traded for Sadiq Bey while getting amazing contributions from AJ Griffin and DeAndre Hunter. They need to move off a couple players like John Collins, and they might return to the Eastern Conference Finals with the right maneuvering at some point. I don't think the Wizards front office knows what they're doing nor what they want to do. Their lottery pick, Johnny Davis, was stranded in the G League because of their talented backcourt, and even in the G League, he wasn't playing his best. Kuzma is probably gone, and this team has been content with riding a wave of mediocrity since John Wall left. Orlando is a young team looking to get reps for its young players, and they actually competed in some games. The Magic theoretically should be at least looking toward a playing spot next season, and if they aren't, I'm not sure what the front office is smoking because this core should be winning games next season. Charlotte's owner might be the best player we've ever seen, but he's also the worst owner of all time. He traded away their best big for a bag of chips, and he's probably going to lose Miles Bridges and get nothing in return. I don't think that's his fault, but still, it's gonna happen. And to put the cherry on top, Jordan has explored selling the team. LaMelo is the only bright spot here, but if his ankles keep doing a Grant Hill impression, he might not see his first contract extension. A great year for a team that will seemingly have a disappointing end. The front office doesn't want to add bench depth. Jokic won't win his third MVP in a row, but that's probably for the best, or Twitter would go into shock with all the Jokic hate tweets. Cat's been hurt all year. He finally made it back and has been playing pretty well. Anthony Davis, he seemed ready to take a leap, but he's been hesitant due to this team's lack of chemistry. A very immature team that we expected to mature over the summer last year, but one can only hope that they use this summer more proactively, because this year it's pretty much a loss. Easily one of the scariest teams going into next year and the coming years after, but they still had a very talented squad that would compete night in and night out. Their age would show on some nights, and when the play-in race started to get heated, their age started to show. I can expect them to right the ship very fast, because this team has played very meaningful minutes with their young guys and become a team of the future that is a threat in the West for years to come. They started the team as the hottest team in the West and fizzled out due to injuries and frankly lack of talent, to be honest. Before the year, this was a team that we assumed would be in the tank for Wemby race, but they showed us they quietly put together a pretty okay team. They're not making the playoffs because, again, injury, and a 35+ win record is not what you're looking for if you're in the state that this team's in. They might just solidify themselves as a middle of the pack team. I admire Dame's loyalty, but at this point, he either needs to leave or they need to provide him some help. Anthony Simons is beginning to show flashes of his talent, but I can't help but feel like it would be just a CJ and Dame duo 2.0. I don't really know what they can do other than get Dame some help, and this team might actually do something for once if they did get him some help. One of the shocks of the season being in the 3rd seed of the West and possibly being one of the teams that they have to go through to get out of the West. Lack of injuries and missed games helped them out on their way to obtaining the top 3 seed, but this team is still good nonetheless. Let's hope their lack of playoff experience does not show itself in their first playoff appearance since 06-07. A team that was very good, but not really perceived as a threat anymore. It turned into an overnight horror show for the Western Conference when they acquired Kevin Durant. They haven't played too much together, nor have they really been healthy, but this is probably Phoenix's best shot at a chip, and we quickly saw their title window open up very fast. A true threat if healthy, and if history tells us anything, is that the injury bug will be knocking on their door at any second. PG is already down, he's probably going to come back, but that won't stop Kawhi and Russ from taking them as far as they can. You can't call it when it comes to this team because they can be hurt, they cannot show up, or they can look like the best team in the league. Biggest roller coaster ride of the year, however, one of the teams that benefited from the trade deadline the most. The team was ass, to be frank, in the beginning of the year, and then after the trade deadline rolled around, this team suddenly became a team that people saw as one of the best teams in the West. Fingers crossed that AD doesn't turn into street clothes AD, and this team can continue to play very well just as they have post-trade deadline. Fake thugs, poor hygiene, and the DPOY. This team is great, they have talent, they're young, but with Steven Adams battling back with injury, one can only wonder how deep they could really go because they don't really have too much depth. This seems like the first year, or at the very least a preview of their first title window opening up, but as it stands this year, I don't really think they're ready, and I think they still need to mature a little bit more. The Lakers 2.0 have no timetable for Zion's return, but other than that, B.I. has been holding down the ship and he's been playing some great basketball. If this team can stay healthy, they would be a very competitive team in the West, but they can't seem to shake the injury bug no matter who it is. They're going to be another first round exit, and it's pretty disappointing for a team that has as much talent as they have. A team that was 1 or 2 pieces away, ruined by not re-signing Brunson and trading your best defenders for Kyrie. Kyrie is him, but in terms of this team's chemistry, that was not the move to make. And this offseason is going to be a real barn burner for Mark Cuban and his boys. They obviously tapped out of the play-in race and are looking forward to next season. This is the team I actually hope Wemby goes to. I believe it would be a great fit with him, Keldon Johnson, and other young talent that they have like Jeremy Sochan. They didn't do anything this year, and as a pretty boring team as the Spurs have always been, there's really not been any other news around this team besides Josh Primo showing his Johnson to the training staff. The team everyone expects to get Wemby. I personally don't know how he would fit with that surrounding cast. They are talented, but it would be weird to see the fit, and I really wonder how that's going to work. Obviously, they would figure it out very quick because with Wemby, their talent just explodes through the ceiling. And Nick Nurse is rumored to be their next coach, and that's a very good sign for them. That's all I got for you guys in this one. This is one of those videos that I tried for the first time. Just wanted to see how I fare at it. I thought I would do pretty good. Let me know in the comments below if you agree. If not, you can still let me know in the comments. But that's all I got for you guys in this one. It's your boy TB with the greatest hoop stories and debates on the tube. And as always, I'm out. Peace.